What's up, some hacker? Welcome back. We are carrying on with our test and exam level questions. And this type of simultaneous equation is something that you are likely going to see in your assessments. But by the end of this video, you are going to know how to do it confidently to snag the most marks possible. So let's get stuck in. Having a quick look at these two equations, I know that I'm definitely going to manipulate this equation here and make that my first equation. However, I want to look at my other one to see if I want to substitute in x or y. For me personally, I only want to substitute in x because I feel like that is the simplest option. All I need to do is substitute in x squared as opposed to having to substitute in y squared and negative 2y, right? So I want to make my life as easy as possible, and I would rather substitute once than a whole bunch of different times. So what I'm going to do is make x the subject of my formula for this equation. So I'm going to have 4y minus 4 is equal to positive 3x. Then I'm just going to switch it around so it looks like something I'm more familiar with. So it's the same as saying 3x is equal to 4y minus 4. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 3 because I want x alone. The 3's here are going to cancel out, so I'm left with x is equal to 4y minus 4 over 3. Okay, so now this is going to be my first equation, so let me quickly label it. And then I'm going to quickly label the other one as my second equation. Now, simply write down, put 1 into 2. And what you are going to do is everywhere you see an x, you are going to plug this value in. So that's going to look like bracket 4y minus 4 over 3 squared, and then I simply write the rest of the equation down. Great. Now I'm going to expand this bracket by saying bracket 4y minus 4 over 3 times itself, which is 4y minus 4 over 3. Close my bracket up and then write the rest down. And I'm going to simply move my 24 over the equal sign so long, which will give me plus y squared minus 2y minus 24 is equal to 0. Do not forget your equal to 0. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is stick my brackets in, and I'm going to draw my fraction line, because when I multiply these two things together, I'm going to have one big fraction, right? The reason I'm telling you to do this is because so many kids forget the bottom part of the fraction. This way, there's no way to forget. You've got a line there and you're like, cool, I have to put something beneath it, right? And the first thing I like to do is I actually like to say, okay, what is 3 times 3? That is going to give me an answer of 9. Then I move on to the top. I like to put brackets around these because it makes me think of FOIL, right? So my firsts, my outers, my inners, and my lasts, right? So 4y times 4y is going to give me 16y squared. Then I have 4y times negative 4, that is going to give me negative 16y. Negative 4 times 4y is going to give me negative 16y. And finally, negative 4 times negative 4, that's going to give me positive 16. Then I'm just going to write the rest down. Excellent. So now I want to get this 9 away. I want to get it out of here, right? The only way that I can do that is to multiply by 9. But if I do it to one of my variables, I have to do it to all of the variables. So I have to times this by 9. I have to times this by 9. I have to times this by 9. And this by 9, okay? So with the first 9 in the bracket, can you see that this would be 9 over 1? What you should also see here is that this 9 and this 9 can cancel each other out. So all I'm actually left with here is 16y squared. And then I'm going to quickly simplify this. So negative 16y will give me minus 32y. And then I'm left with plus 16, okay? Awesome. Done and dusted. Now I need to say plus y squared times 9, that's going to give me plus 9y squared. Then minus 2y times 9, that's going to give me minus 18y. And then minus 24 times 9, that's going to give me minus 216 is equal to 0. Now I can simplify. I like to work with my y squared first, so I'm going to have that one and that one. So 16 plus 9 is going to give me 25y squared. I'm going to cross them out because I don't need them anymore. I've worked with them. Then I'm going to look at my y values, which is negative 32 minus 18. That's going to give me negative 50y. Cross them out because I've worked with them. And then I have plus 16 minus 216, which will give me minus 200 equals to 0. It's at this point that you should be able to see that you can divide everything by 25. Remember, you want to make your life as easy as possible. So what we will be left with here is y squared, because the 25 and the 25 will cancel each other out, minus 2y minus 8. That will give you 0. Awesome stuff. Now we are in a position to factorize. So put your two brackets down. Equals to 0. You know that there's got to be a y in the one bracket and the y in the other. Looking at the last variable, you have a negative there, which means you know that one bracket has to have a positive and the other bracket has to have a negative, because a positive and a negative will give you a negative. Then you ask yourself, what are the factors of 8 that could potentially give you 2? Would you agree with me that it is 4 and 2, right? But when looking at your b value sign, that is a negative, which tells you that the bigger factor needs to be with the negative. So you're going to put your 4 in the bracket with a negative, and you're going to put your 2 in the bracket with a positive. Now what you can do is test yourself. Ask yourself, okay, is positive 2 minus 4 going to give me negative 2? Yes, it does. And then is positive 2 times negative 4 going to give me negative 8? And it absolutely does. So now you know, awesome sauce, my brackets are correct, I can move on. Next thing you want to say is y plus 2 is equal to 0, or y minus 4 is equal to 0. Now you simply solve for y, so you got y is equal to negative 2, or y is equal to 4. And these are your y answers over here. Now you want to say, put your y values into your first equation. So just say, put y into 1. Then simply write your y values down, and then just make sure that you're plugging in your equation number 1. Just in case you've forgotten, this is the equation you want to plug in. Now you simply plug in your y values. So you'll have x is equal to 4 times negative 2 minus 4 over 3. And x is equal to minus 4. And then on the other side, you've got x is equal to 4 times 4 minus 4 over 3. And that will give you x is equal to positive 4. And there you have it, some hacker. So if you have yourself y is equal to negative 2, y is equal to 4, x is equal to negative 4, and x is equal to 4, then you are 100% correct. But we're not done just yet. Make sure that when you're ready to move on, that you dive into the next video. I can't wait to see you there.